Got a couple guns here today I want to do some reviews on. First one here is my Noranco SKS. The other one is my Romanian Wasser 2 545 by 39 caliber AK-74. And the other is my Bushmaster M4. They got a designation on it, but basically it's an M4. Got a couple things I want to talk about with them. First one being the SKS. And I see a lot of people, and they buy these rifles, and they take them, and they put sporter stocks and 30-round magazines and a bunch of fancy stuff, trying to basically make it this rifle. The fact of the matter is, this rifle was never intended, in my opinion, to be a large magazine capacity weapon. It was built by the Russians with the intent of running your standard box magazine. And these are what it needs, the stripper clips. I've had some of the 30-round magazines on a couple of my other SKSs before, and quite frankly, a lot of times they would fail to feed. Bullets would fall out of it if it wasn't in the gun. They were just made really cheap, and I never felt that they were built to quality. I know Tapco has a couple magazines, Pro Mag. They make some stuff that people feel that are really, really good, but for me, on a harsh environment, Minuteman, type prep or survival situation, I like to have equipment that I can trust, that's battle tested, and simply proven. And also, probably if you're serious about prepping or that kind of stuff, you're probably looking for something, a good rifle. And if you're buying this, something tells me you're probably on a budget. So buying a bunch of expensive magazines, kind of defeats the purpose when, for the money you're going to put into the magazines plus this, you can buy one of these. The Wassers, I know they get beat up a lot. They say that they're junk or whatnot. But I can tell you that this is an outstanding rifle, and I've never had any problems with it. So the SKS, it was meant to be built this way. It's fought in a lot of wars, throughout Southeast Asia. I know the Viet Cong, they used a lot of them. The North Vietnamese Army as well. Next thing I want to talk about is the Romanian Wasser 2 and the 545 by 39. I bought this, I think I was a junior or senior in high school when I got it. It was my first military grade firearm other than an SKS. I got it roughly around $400 at the time. I think they've gone up a little bit in price. They're great rifles. The 545 caliber is a very inexpensive rifle round, but truthfully, I kind of wish I would have got the 30 caliber because of the fact that the 30 caliber magazines are a lot easier to come by. This 545 calibered magazine with the Bakelite, the actual standard military issue, I believe this is probably a East German magazine, not for sure. They're really hard to come by. They don't import a lot of them, and they're extremely expensive. They're usually about $40 or $50 a piece, and if you're on my kind of budget, which is pretty slim, you're not going to be stockpiling these. I've seen the Tapco magazines. I haven't had a chance to pick one up yet. Every time I go to get one, my wife's always like, do we have the money for that? So you know how that goes. I've got a 10-round hunting magazine that I use whenever I deer hunt with this rifle, which, by the way, this is an outstanding deer rifle. Brush gun, that kind of thing. But it's the trade-off between the little bit more expensive 7.62 ammo versus the 545. I think you're going to make up that cost difference by buying 30-round magazines for the 30 caliber. I've seen them as cheap as like $9 before. The next rifle I want to talk about is the Bushmaster. And there's a lot of different brands of AR out there. Personally, I think they're all ARs. I know, a lot of people say the Bushmaster is better than the DPMS, or Rock River's the best, or whatever. People have their little, brand names and all that stuff, just like Nike. But to me, they're all, they're all made of the same military grade parts. As long as you get, if you're buying the quality parts, they're all the same guns. for the most part. You can get different barrel twist rates and things of that nature, but for the most part, they're pretty well the same. You know, to me, this is the ultimate rifle. You know, I know that there's the new SCARs and the ACRs and all that fancy stuff, but you know, the piston drivens and all that, to me, they're not battle tested. You know, the gas operating system, it's worked well for the military, you know, since the M16A1 come out, and they got the bugs worked out of the original M16s. So, you know, for me, as an avid, you know, shooter, home defense weapon, this kind of stuff, it does the job. It's a fraction of the cost of buying, you know, a piston driven system or a, you know, SCAR or whatever. Next thing I want to talk about on this is the magazines. The solid black magazine here is a Canadian military issue, and they can be had for, I believe, $6 to $7 a piece. I've never had any problem with them. They look a lot like a PMag. They look pretty cool in the gun. The other one here is the standard military issue magazine. This is an actual military issue one I picked up from a friend of mine, and as you can see, it says restricted blah blah blah. He got it. He did away with some of his magazines and got PMags before his last deployment to Afghanistan, and he always likes to chuck gear my way. That's another thing about this. You know, with it being the standard issue rifle with the military, you can pick up a lot of stuff from your friends that are in the military, or if you've been in the military. Surplus stock, you know, stores have a lot of stuff. Where these rifles here, you know, you're not going to find it as common because they're, you know, they're made in other countries. The PEC box on here, that's not real, by the way. I stole that off my airsoft gun. I just thought it looked kick-ass on there. As you can see, I painted my AR. I got a little bored one day and broke down and painted it. My AR is not a flat top. I wish it was, but I didn't do my homework whenever I bought this, and really hadn't seen all the benefits when, you know, the flat tops when they first come out. And I got a good deal on this, so I'm not really too broken-hearted about it. I'll pick up another M4 sometime when the money gets right. You know, a lot of people, they knock the 5.56 round and all that stuff, but you know, I just don't believe that the military, you know, they wouldn't have used it for the last, you know, 50 or 60 years or whatever, for, you know, since the 1950s, for that reason, you know, if it wasn't a good round. They've done some things here and there that's kind of screwed it up, and things of that nature, but you know, the green tip ammo, you know, the M885 round with this 545 round, the Russians went to that over the 7.62 round because it closely matched the American M16 round, and you know, the Afghans call the 545 the poison bullet because it's so devastating. And then the Americans, you know, we talk crap about the 5.56 and say that it sucks and it's a varmint gun. I know 6.8 and some of these 300 blackouts and things like that are gaining popularity, but for me, you know, the 5.56, say in a, you know, shit hit the fan type situation or whatever, it's going to be so readily available. I like to buy my guns in calibers that, you know, are pretty common. When I first bought this, there wasn't a lot of them out there. This round hadn't gained popularity in America on the 5.45, and it took forever for me to, you know, to find it. You know, and unfortunately, you know, you can, you know, when I bought this, you know, things on the internet weren't as easy to find as what they are today. You know, the internet's come a long way since, you know, 2004 or 2003 whenever I bought this. But I just wanted to show you some of my guns and do a little review on my personal opinions. You know, none of this, you know, I know people are going to, you know, depict what I say and things of that nature, but it's just how I feel. It's how I roll. Hope you enjoy the video.